Hello fellow campers, welcome to Warrior Camping. Today we're going to have another little look at a tent. My friend's going to pitch it up because like I said she's going down to Devon. We was going to do this yesterday afternoon, but as soon as we finished pitching up that Sierra design tent, it started raining, so we had to abandon that, and she's back today and we're going to have a look at this one today. So it's a lovely sunny day today, right hot day. So let's have a look at this tent. This is the Bergaus Cheviot 2. Now I really like this tent. It's a good tent. It's a good looking tent. And it's a strong tent as well. It is a nice tent, this one. So let's get it out and have a look at it and see how she gets on pitching this one. She did like the old Sierra design tent. She thought it was good and thought it was easy to pitch. She might find this one a bit harder to pitch. It is more difficult than that Sierra design, this tent. But then when this tent is up, I really like this tent. It's got a really good look to it. So it's a great tent, this one. And the only thing that makes this one a bit more difficult to pitch, it's just getting the poles into shape. When you've threaded the 3 poles through, that's no problem. But when you have to bend it to get it into shape, because it all goes up together, it's got the inner in it and all that. When you're bending it into shape, it is a bit, not difficult, but more difficult than them ones where you just do the frame and then clip the innards to it and throw the sheet over. So that's the only bit that's difficult about this tent, is just bending it into shape and getting them poles in the little loops at the bottom. Other than that, this pitch is easy. And I sort of like it because once you have put them poles into shape and hooked them in them loops at the bottom, you can move it about. This is a freestanding tent, so you can sort of set it up before you ever put a peg in, and then move it to wherever you want it and then peg it down. So I like that about this tent, but she might find it a bit awkward to pitch this one, but you never know, she might want to borrow it. I've sort of dug this one out because I think it's a really good tent. Couple of girls in this campsite down Devon, you have a great time with this tent because it really has got a racing look to it. I know you don't get a racing tent, but this one is a racing red tent. You wait till you see it up. This thing looks like it was built to go round Silverstone at 200 mile an hour. So it definitely is a good looking tent, this one. It looks better than most of the other tents I've got. It might just be me, but I do really like the look of this tent. When you've got it all set up and you look at it compared to like your mate's tents and all that, this one does look like a racing red Farrari tent. It really does. And it's not a heavy tent, this one. For what you get the strength of the 3 poles and all that. This tent is like, it's not very heavy for a 3-pole tent, and it's a good quality tent, this one. So it's not the super light tent, but it really is not very heavy, this tent. And it packs down nice and small in the bag, so it's an easy one to carry, this tent. And it's a good quality tent. It's very waterproof, it's very strong. This thing can deal with the wind. It really can. I've been out in this when it's been absolutely having it, the old weather. And this tent surprised me with how well it took it, the shape of it. The only thing I had to do was like take the guidelines out the front, because it's got like a peak bit on it. I just put that down, and then in the wind with this tent, it really wasn't a problem. It just took everything. It was a good tent. I was surprised by how good it is. Because it's not a really expensive tent, this one. Alright, brand new, this tent is quite expensive. All the Bergaus tents are expensive. But second hand, these don't make a bundle of money. They really don't. So these type of tents are a good one to get hold of. If you're just like 2 of you going camping, this is a good tent for that. And you would pick one up at decent money. For what you get, you are getting a bit of a bargain, because you're getting a strong tent that's quite light. It's made out of really nice materials, and it looks like a Ferrari. So what else could you want really for your money? I'd say this is a good one to buy on the old used second-hand market, because these don't make that much money, these tents, because people don't really go after them. People want Van Gogh, people want OEX, people want MSR, people want Hubba Hubba. They don't really want the Berghaus, so these Bergaus tents are quite cheap for what you get, because they are good quality. It's a quality company, it's been around donkey's years, they don't make rubbish. Well, they might make some right cheap tents, budget tents, but this one isn't one of them. This is a decent tent with nice good quality aluminium poles. Them poles are lovely on this. So there's two light colours. Two of the poles have got red ends on them, so they are the ones that do the cross, and the other pole has just got silver ends. That does the front bit. So the tent is colour coded. There's red markings on where the red poles go, and a silver marking where the silver pole goes. So it is quite easy to put it all together, and there's only 3 poles. The only bit that's a bit awkward is lifting it into shape. But it's not that hard. Once you've done it a couple of times, it's quite easy. You just have to manhandle the poles a bit, and the poles are strong enough to take it, so that's what you have to do. Just manhandle this one into place. But then when it's a freestander, so if you was in a rush and it was raining, you could pop this up and dive in it without even putting a peg in the ground, if you wanted to. So you sort of start by putting the cross poles through this. I found that the easiest way. Put the cross poles in first. Yeah, I'll get her to do it. I'll chuck her a pole over, and she'll go. And you'll see there's like a red marking at the beginning of that sleeve. There's a little red loop on it, as you can see there. So that just indicates the red pole goes in there. And they are the nice sleeves. They're like the mesh sleeves, so the wind doesn't catch on them. So it is a bit geared up for windy conditions, this tent. It's a nice warm little tent and all, this one. I don't know about using it in full-blown snowy winter, but you could use it when it is cold, definitely. I have, and it's a nice little tent inside. It's nice, snug and warm when it's cold outside. This one warms up nicely. So you can see the poles slide through it easy enough with that netting. No problem at all. So there's 2 of them, exactly the same, that form the cross of the frame. 2 poles. So get the other one and we'll put that in. It is easier if you put the cross poles in first, then the one across the front, and then you bend it into place. I have found that's the easiest way. You have to put all 3 poles in first. If you try to like put 2 in, put it in place, then get the other one through, you wouldn't be able to do it. Or you might do, but you'd struggle like anything to do it. So get all your poles in when it's flat. That goes for any of these tents really. You're always better to put your poles in when the tent is laying flat on the ground. Unless it's the one with the clips, then you can do it how you like. But when they thread through these sleeves, always put all your poles in first. Just makes life a bit easier while it's laying flat on the ground. So as you can see, them poles slid through alright, not a problem. Now there's one more that goes the other way. That's the one with the silver ends on it. And it just slides through that other sleeve there and goes right across, and that is the one that holds the front up. So get that one in and thread it through. When you pop it up, you want to do like the cross poles first. I've found easier. Pop them up first and then put this one into place last. If you try and do this one first, it makes doing the other 2 more awkward. And it's only really the first one that's awkward. Once you've got one popped up and you've got the sort of tent into shape, then it's not a problem really. The other two go easy. So you can see it slides through, it goes underneath the other two, so it's like this tent has got like 3 cross points on it, so it has got a fair bit of strength in it, this tent. And it can take a bit of a battering, because like I said, I was out in this one time camping, and the old winds kicked right in, and the old storm come over and all that, and I thought, right, Bergaus, this is going to be a test for you. Show me what you've got, tent. I hope you can deal with this. And it dealt with it much better than what I thought it would have. It really did deal with it well. It really is a strong tent, this one, in the wind. I don't know if it's the shape of it or whatever, but it was like, it just dealt with it really easy. So this is a really good tent out in the winds. Really is. I'd feel safe in this, pitching this anywhere on a windy day, because after that day, it really was a bad storm I went through in this, with a ton of wind, and like I said, all I did was do lowered the little flap at the front, because that was flapping about, ripping all the guidelines out. So I lowered that, and stuck it down, because it's got Velcro on it. And then after that, I was back in the tent, and yeah, it was fine. It wasn't caning or anything. It was sweet as a nut, this tent. So I liked it after that. It's a good tent. Very good for the wind and all that. Because some of them just blow away in the wind. They're just terrible, but not this one. So the fronts of the poles are in the little loops, and all you got to do is manhandle it a bit and get it into that back loop. It's a little bit difficult. Oh, it's come out at the front. Take 2 on the Bergaus. It has come out the front loop. So she's putting it back in the front loop. Right, take 2. Let's go on the Bergaus. Manhandle it in now. Make it have it. The poles are strong. You just got to just make it have it with this first one and get it in there. And right, that's it, that's gone. So that's the hard bit done. That's the only bit that's difficult, is getting that first pole in. The other ones will be much easier, but that first one, when you're trying to bend the whole tent into shape and do it with the loop and all that, it is a little bit of a struggle, but these ones will go easy now. They're not as hard as that first one. See, that one was easy, straight in. And the same with the front one. That front one will be easy. Just pop in there, because the tent is more or less up. So just find the other loop, put the pole in there, and then away you go. Round the other side, pop that one in. So it's not difficult to do, but I will admit, it is a little bit of a struggle, that first one. I've done it loads of times with different tents and that, so you can just sort of manhandle it in now. But like, for someone just starting out with the old camping bit and that, you might need to practice that a few times. The first time you do it, you might really struggle to get that first pole in. And that's it, all poles in. She is up. The racing tent is up. And see, it's a freestander. Not one peg has gone in this, and it just holds itself up. So you can move it now, wherever you want to put it. You can just move this tent into place, position it where you want it, before you peg it down. And all you really need to do is like pull the front out to give it its festival, and then just peg the front down. So as you can see, nice tent this, nice big air vent on the back. It's got a nice shape to it, this tent. It really has got a good look to it, this tent. Shame my garden's so small, you can't really see it properly. I will get some better shots of it in a minute. I'll back right up and try and get a whole tent in, but it's just when my garden's so small, it's a little bit awkward to do it. Garden looks bigger on the camera than what it actually is. When I watched one of these tent videos the other day, my garden looks really big, but it's not. The camera just makes it seem to look bigger than what it actually is. So that's it, we'd moved it into place, pushed it back, just lifted it, walked it back, and there you go. Just need to put a few pegs into them bits to hold it down, and then this thing ain't going nowhere. Let's get the old pegs out of the bag. Load of pegs with this one. Got some extra pegs in with this one, because I was out one time when I had this tent, and where I pitched it, someone had left a load of pegs behind. They was all in the ground. So I just hung on to them really. So someone must have, next time they went to pitch their tent, someone must have had a load of pegs missing, because they had left them all in the ground. So if you are that person, I've got your pegs. Thank you very much. They have been well used and have come in very handy. But you could have left behind some titanium ones, because these are only the bubblegum weak peg. Titanium ones would have been a much better find for me. So you just put a few pegs in, stretch it out a little bit, peg it down. Happy days, this tent ain't going nowhere, especially like now in the summer. You don't even need to guide this thing down, it would just stay here. Even in a bit of wind, this tent don't need guiding down. It is just a strong little tent with them 3 poles in it. You have to do the front, do the guides on the front, because it holds out like a flap over the door, which is part of your ventilation. It is part of an air vent. So them ones you have to do. But the others, I don't bother on this tent. Unless the wind kicks right up, then I'll get out and do them. But other than that, there's no need to guide this tent down. It really doesn't need it at all. So all you do with this one is just pull the front into shape and then peg that front out. And that's it really, it's up. Nice tent. So put the last pegs in there. Hold it down into place. It's hard to get pegs in my garden. It's like concrete, my garden. When she goes away, I will give her a mallet to bang the pegs in. Because I've been on campsites before, that the ground is so hard, you just cannot get pegs in. Some campsites are like that, and everyone is just bending all their pegs. Everyone you speak to says, "God, isn't the ground hard here?" Then you go to another campsite, and the ground is so soft, you just push the pegs in so easy. So none of us have been to the campsite that she is going to, so we don't know what sort of ground it is. So I will give her the mallet, and I'll probably give her a stronger set of pegs as well, in case it's like rock hard ground. So if it's soft ground, these pegs are easy, just push them in with your hand. Whereas the ones that have got like the fins on, they're much better for harder ground, but they're hard to push in with your hands. They dig right in your hands and hurt your hands. You need the mallet on them. So I will give her another set of pegs and a mallet to do it. Because she's not backpacking or anything. She's not walking to Devon with a tent on her back. She's taking the car. So you can easily carry a mallet and a backup set of pegs in case the ground is really hard. And that's a good little tip if you're like going out camping quite often. Have a set of pegs that you can just, especially if you're taking a car and that, or a motorbike, or wherever you're doing it, even on a push bike, if you're tying all your stuff to that, you can have a set of pegs with you that are so easy just to push in with your hand when you get the soft ground, and then have another set which you need to bang in if you find hard ground. Because you don't need to carry the mallet, you can always find a rock or something like that to bang the pegs in. But like if you've got these really light little aluminium pegs, the ones that you could just push in with your hand really easy, if you end up somewhere where the ground is rock hard, you are not getting them in the ground. If you've got a mallet or rock or whatever you've got, all you are going to do is bend all your pegs and you are not getting them in the ground. So it is worth having a couple of sets of pegs. If you buy a nice set, when you change your tent, just sell the tent on with like the old pegs it came with, and you keep your nice set. So you only need to buy one set of nice pegs, and you can use them with whatever tent you use. Take your nice pegs with you. So it is worth getting decent pegs. I've got some like long titanium spiked ones. They're really good and they don't weigh nothing. Nice pegs they are. But they are still hard to push in with your hand. They hurt your hand. You need a rock or a mallet or something. So I do put these ones in just to hold the sides down a bit, stop it flapping. There's one there and one round the other side exactly the same. So I do put them two pegs in, but I don't normally worry about the guidelines on this tent unless it is really windy. This tent does not need them. So it's a good tent this for that. And I would say, if you're the sort of person, if you're just going to buy one tent, maybe you and your missus and that going away, a tent like this isn't a bad way to go, because if you like get terrible weather and that, this tent can deal with it. Whereas if you just buy one really lightweight little tent, they're not good when it starts blowing a gale and all that. And if it is the only tent you've got, they can be like horrible be inside, because every 2 minutes you're thinking, oh, the tent's going to fall apart in a minute. But you won't feel like that in this. So this is good for like normal camping and good for a bit of windy camping as well. So if you've got one tent and you've got one like this, yeah, it's good, because this tent will do everything. You only really need a tent like this. Whereas if you have got the little lightweight flimsy tent and you are planning to do a lot of camping, you will end up buying another tent for when the weather's not that good. You just will buy another one. If you're planning to buy a couple of free tents anyway, that's good. Buy a really light one. Get a sort of medium duty one and then get a winter tent. That's the way to do it. Then you can go camping wherever you like and you've got the right tent for the situation. And like this tent you're looking at now, the old Farrari red racing tent. This is sort of like, I'd call this a budget tent now. It's not a budget tent when it was new, but second hand, this would be down with like the prices of a cheap tent, because I wouldn't imagine this thing makes a lot of money. None of the Bergaus stuff makes kind of the money it should second hand, because there's a load of it out there, because people do like this stuff, so people buy it new. But then second hand, people are after the other make stuff. So this Bergaus stuff is a bit of a bargain, I think, for what you get. It's top quality stuff, really, for the money. So as you can see, you pull them two guides out and it just gives you that little peak on the front over the door. So that stops the rain coming in the door when you open it, and there's an air vent under there, so it just helps it vent, gets rid of that horrible condensation. And it doesn't get condensation, this tent, in it. It vents well, this one. It's a good tent for that. Got enough air vents in it, keep it all nice. And now it's up, just look at it. This thing has got a good look to it. The racing tent from Berghaus. So unzip the door unzips both sides. So you unzips and then you roll it up and the whole thing just like goes out the way to the ceiling of the tent on a couple of little toggles. But you can do sometimes, if there's no wind, you can just flip that door up on the roof and it will stay up there. Won't if it's windy, but if there's no wind, it will just flip up on the roof to save you keep rolling it up. And the other thing I do with this, if I was on like a campsite with it or whatever, and you've got a towel with you because you've been to the showers and that, you can just unzip the door, throw it up on the roof and then lay your towel over it, and that'll hold it in place, save rolling it up every 2 minutes. Because obviously I use this tent more on a campsite than like It's so bright red and stands out. You're not going stealth camping in this one, trying to hide away. This is a bit of like a campsite tent. I have used it at places where I know no one's going to come, or like up on my mate's bit of land that I go a lot. I use it up there because it doesn't matter that it stands out, but if you're trying not to get noticed and trying to camp in places where you shouldn't really be, then this tent is not for you. There are much better tents available for hiding away and sneaking about and camping where you shouldn't be. This one is no good for that because it is bright red, shaped like a Ferrari, and it stands out like a sore thumb. And you can spot this one from a mile away. But yeah, if you can see there, it has got the ground sheet that's attached to the front of the tent, so that'll cover the vestibule area. Or you can roll that up and just clip it along the bottom of the front of the tent. That's what I normally do, and then you can cook in that vestibule bit with the old trangie or the gas stove or whatever. And if you're doing that, don't do it on your ground sheet because you might burn a hole in it. So you can just roll it up. And I would put that ground sheet out if it was all raining and soaking wet and that, and I wanted to keep my gear out there, so there was a couple of us in here, I would put it out then. But if it's just me in here, there's loads of room in here, I'd have all my gear in here with me, and then that ground sheet, I'd just roll it up out the way. So as you can see, the door opens, goes in that pocket. It's nice in here. It's a bit red, but I like that. I like the fact that this tent is like got a red glow inside it. It's a really nice place to be. It's like being in one of them photographers' place when they develop the old pictures. So it is really nice in here with the red. It's much nicer than that horrible bright orange glow you get out of a load of them. This place is really nice with the red glow. Really is a nice tent to be inside this one. I like it. So you can see it's got the vent at the back, got the hook for your lantern, couple of pockets, got them both sides, big pockets and all in this one, nice pockets. And it is quite big in here, really. It's an easy two-man tent. You and your missus or whatever be really happy in here. If you're like two big blokes and you don't want to get that close to each other, then yeah, get something a bit bigger. But for you and your missus, this is absolutely a lovely tent to be in. Or if you're only a couple of little fellas, no problem in here. A couple of normal sized fellas in here, be well alright. A couple of girls going camping together. Yeah, there's plenty of room in here. Just if you're like the big massive blokes, couple of them in here might be a bit of a squeeze. You'd wish you'd bought something a bit bigger. But it is a bit bigger than a lot of two-man tents. There's more room in there than a lot of two-man tents that I have got. And you can see that vestibule, there's a load of room out of there for cooking. Fling that door back, that vestibule is really good. Get cooking with the old trangie or the gas stove or whatever. And where them sides come down, it really acts like a good windbreaker. So it's a good one for cooking, this tent. Nice that little bit out there for cooking. I've done loads of cooking out in here. And then you can see you roll the ground sheet up and it just clips along there on the little toggles. Keep it out of the way. That's how I'd normally have it. So I sort of ended up with this tent. I didn't go after one of these. One of my friends bought this brand new. And we was out one day camping and I had like a dome tent with me. A green one, Vango. Can't remember the model. But I had this dome tent with me and it had like a big canopy and all that on the front. It was a nice big dome tent, big 3-man thing. And he had this and he hadn't had it long. And he was like sitting in my dome tent and that, and he went, oh, this is what I should have bought really, something like this in the green, because that thing I've got, it stands out too much, and where it's quite low inside, I wish I'd bought a big dome tent, because it'd be much better when me and my missus go away camping. And I looked at this tent, and I'd already been looking at his tent and thinking, oh, I really like that. So I went to him, right then, here you go. How about I do you a swap, straight swap, this Van Gogh for your Bergaus? And he went, yeah, alright then, we'll swap. So that was it. I swapped a Van Gogh dome tent with a big canopy on the front for this. And I was happier with this. I really liked this tent. The Van Gogh tent was alright, but I wasn't very attached to it. It was just a big dome tent. I'd got it from somewhere. I think I'd bought it at Boot Fair or something like that. It hadn't cost me much money, so I was happy to do the swap because he hadn't had this long. It was lovely. So yeah, that's how come I got with it. But I wouldn't part with this now because I really like it. Go away in this to a campsite and that, pitch it up. Yeah, I really like this tent. It's a lovely tent, this one. I'll keep this and try and look after it because it's a nice old tent, this one. It really is. Look at it. The racing tent. It's faster than your tent, this tent. And it handles much better in the corners. So that's it really, the Bergaus tent is up. I'll have to see how she decides what she wants to take, innit? Me personally, I think I would take this Berghaus, especially to a campsite down Devon. Look at it, look lovely on the old campsite, this one. But she might like the other one, so I'm not sure. I might even dig more out yet and let her pitch another one and see if she wants to take something else. If she weren't too keen on either of these. But who can't love that Sierra design? That's a lovely tent. And who can't love this? Look at it. The racing tent. That is a fantastic looking tent. Look at it. And as tents go, they don't come much better looking than this thing. They really don't. I love the look of this tent. And so do a lot of other people. Because when you are camping on a campsite in this tent, a lot of people will say to you, nice looking tent, mate. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you can join me again. I'm off now to race my tent in the Grand Prix. So let's go, Grand Prix tent racing.